Hey guys, Belle here from Disney in 3, here to talk to you about rides that you really need Fastpasses for. Of course, some people don't use Fastpass, they think it's too confusing, but I think it's a great tool to make the most of your vacation, because one thing that I can't stand is standing in lines for more than like 20 minutes. I just get so impatient. So Fastpasses really help, especially if you have maybe like littler kids or people who constantly need to use the restroom or something like that. It just gives you so much more freedom, and you're paying for the service anyway, you might as well use it. So one thing to know about Fastpasses, you can make Fastpass reservations up to 60 days in advance. I would definitely do that because the best ones go early. Okay, so I'm going to go through each park, let you know which ones you really do need Fastpasses for and which ones you can skip, because Disney always gives you a long list of rides that you can choose, and some sound really good, but a lot of them you don't need a Fastpass for because the wait time is usually 10 minutes or less. So let's start off with the Magic Kingdom. Magic Kingdom, the Snow White's Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. Okay, that sounded kind of weird, but the Mine Train, the new one in New Fantasyland, you definitely need a Fastpass for if you want to check it out. I was there about 2 weeks ago and the line got to almost 2 hours long, and the ride itself is like 2 minutes. So if you want to check it out, which you should because it's new and it's really cool, definitely get a Fastpass. We just walked on. It took like 5 minutes with my Fastpass, and those are one of the first ones to go. Another one that you need in the Magic Kingdom is one of the character experiences, which is meeting Anna and Elsa. If you wait in line, it's going to be at least an hour, and I know little princesses who want to meet their favorite Frozen characters do not want to wait in line for an hour in a kind of cramped room. So definitely get Fastpasses. It takes about, the line when I did it took about 10 minutes, and then they're right there and you can see them and you just feel so special, like you skipped a whole line and now you're greeted by Arendelle royalty. So if you have little girls, that's a really good one to get. You have to go early though, because I tried to get it for this trip and I couldn't. I had waited too long. I waited like 3 days extra. Okay, so another one, if you're a roller coaster fan, of the 3 mountains in Magic Kingdom, Space Mountain takes the longest. The line is always, when I go, at least 70 minutes. As opposed to Splash Mountain or Big Thunder Mountain, if you go early in the day or late towards park closing, it gets shorter. It'll be like 30 minutes. So that's not so bad. But Space Mountain, if you want to check it out, which you should because it's really cool, definitely get Fastpasses. Okay, so one more that people don't really think about until you decide like, hey, that's a cool ride I want to go on, is Peter Pan's Flight. Peter Pan's Flight always has this ridiculously long line. It's kind of similar to like a Haunted Mansion style ride, or like kind of like It's a Small World. It's really cool. Like I love this ride, but it just doesn't make sense. Like Small World would be like a 10-minute wait. Peter Pan's Flight will be well over an hour, like close to an hour and a half. It's really popular, so don't underestimate just because it's not the most extreme ride or the most like hyped up ride, it's not going to be busy. So I always get a Fastpass for Peter Pan's Flight. So if you get 3 Fastpasses for Snow White, Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, Space Mountain, and either Meeting the Princesses or Peter Pan's Flight, you'll save at least 3 hours that day where you could be doing other attractions, seeing other shows. Well worth it. Okay, so for Epcot, to me, of course, they don't have very many rides, so the lines get even longer. Don't get a Fastpass for Spaceship Earth because you can pretty much walk on all day. You should get one for, if you have to choose between Test Track and Soren, I would do Soren. Soren has the most boring line out of all of them. It took so long. I think we waited almost 2 hours to ride Soren, and there's nothing to do. They have this interactive game that you can play, but I think it's just a video. I don't think anybody is really interacting with the screen. You just feel like you are. I guess I'm a hater, I don't know. But Soren's line was so dull. You're just walking through this hallway, this barren hallway for 2 hours, and I love the ride. I would never miss it on a trip, but I hate waiting in that line. It's the worst, most boring line. So definitely get a Fastpass for that. Test Track also takes a long time, usually an hour wait if you don't have a Fastpass, but it's a little more interesting. They have this like thing where you can design your own car, and they have little like kind of like little exhibits, especially if you're into cars. It'd be a lot more interesting. So that's my pick for Epcot, would definitely be Soren no matter what. You don't really need one for Nemo and Friends or Ellen's Energy Universe, because the lines don't get that long, so I wouldn't even worry about that. Okay, so for Hollywood Studios, I would get one for Rock and Roller Coaster, because the line's always over an hour. Usually Tower of Terror is a little bit less, so if you have to choose one or the other, I would go for Rock and Roller Coaster. Really cool ride, Aerosmith themed, always popular. The Great Movie Ride, you can get a fast pass for that if you want. Usually the wait is about 30 to 40 minutes, unless you go very early in the day or closer towards the end of park closing. Okay, so for Animal Kingdom, I would definitely do Festival of the Lion King. People think like, oh, it's a show, you can just walk in. But if you want to get decent seats, you have to go early. Like I would say about 30 to 40 minutes early. And we ended up standing in the direct sunlight, and I'm really fair, so I sunburn easily. And it was just awful. It was so hot. We waited in the sun, just burning for a really long time. And maybe I sound wimpy, I don't know, but I think that would save you a lot of heartache, standing with little kids, having to hold them like they're crying, just like the other people in line with us. It was a really miserable wait. I would definitely go in for Festival of the Lion King, because I got one this past trip and we just walked in. It was a lot better. Also for Kilimanjaro Safaris. Otherwise, the line is really humid, really long. It's going to be about an hour. So I would suggest that as your other fast pass. What are you doing? Okay, anyway. And then also, if you want to check out Expedition Everest, which is the park's like biggest roller coaster, I would get a fast pass for that. Usually the wait's about 40 minutes, so it's not horrible if you don't get one, and the line's pretty cool. It's all about like finding the Yeti and ancient artifacts from Nepal and stuff like that, so it's kind of cool. But definitely I wouldn't bother with a fast pass for Dinosaur. The line's pretty short, and there's a cool, it's like a museum you walk through, so there's more stuff to do. I just hate waiting in lines, especially the boring one, especially Soren. Oh my god, I know I've gone on about that too long already, but I hope you guys have a good trip. I hope you learned something, because Disney gives you all these choices, but really there's only a couple rides that you need to skip the line for. So I hope you have a great vacation. If you like this video, be sure to check out some of my other ones, or leave a comment below about a video I should do for next time. I'd love to hear from you guys. This is Belle from Disney in 3 signing out, and I'll see you next time.